Hi everybody, I'm Michael and this is California. And so on Wednesday, the IRS released new guidance about the stimulus checks that have gone out and who may have to actually return some of the stimulus checks they've already gotten that were sent out in error. So today we're going to discuss who has to send those stimulus checks back or who they're requesting to send it back, should they have to send it back, and how can they send it back if necessary. So before we do that, if you do like the content that we're putting out, you find it interesting, you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Over the last month or so, we have seen the IRS send out nearly 122 million stimulus checks to Americans, and they obviously were focused more on being expedient than being correct. And unfortunately for a lot of folks out there, and we see it in our comments, they have neither been correct nor expedient. And so as a result, they sent out those checks for $1,200 for adults or $500 for dependents to tons and tons of folks who were not actually supposed to get those checks. And now the IRS is asking for them back. So this means that people who may have gotten checks but should not have would have been people who were recently deceased, or, for example, people who have recently become incarcerated, or folks who were lawfully present in the United States in 2018 and 2019 when they filed their taxes, but are no longer either here or lawfully present in the U.S. for 2020. So you see, all these checks have been sent out, and now the IRS is asking for them back. And it's almost comical to think that the IRS is able to send out tons and tons of checks to people who shouldn't have got them when they really can't even send them out to the folks who should get them. So even though they sent out the checks incorrectly, now the IRS is asking for the money back. And there's really two ways that folks got their money. One is as a direct deposit, or two is as a paper check. So what the IRS is asking individuals to do is to, if they got a direct deposit, they're asking to write a paper check or a money order and then send it back to the IRS with the information for the person who got the check but wasn't supposed to. So for example, their tax ID number or their social security, for example, if they're deceased or if they're no longer legal residents or if they're incarcerated. Send it back to the IRS at the own expense of the person who got the stimulus check. The second way would be if they got a paper check, the IRS is recommending that you put void on the signature part and then again, mail it back to the IRS at your own expense. And this is really emblematic of how government inefficiency can affect real Americans. And the question is this fair? Is this correct way to do it? Should these folks who incorrectly got the money, although there was no guidance, there was no reference to how they should handle it, be forced to send it back immediately when that money may have already been used for necessities? Many of these folks who are getting these stimulus checks now are the people who could use them most, who need it for food, who need it for rent, who need it for gas in the car. So if that money was received, there's no guidance on how it should be used or how it should be sent or whether it was correctly sent out, and now they're asking to send it back, this could actually do more harm than it did good in the first place. So the question is, what should they do? Because on the other hand, there's a lot of folks who got these checks who shouldn't have. There's many folks who didn't get their checks. They're still waiting and they still need that help to help them survive and to live with dignity. So it's a little bit of a difficult situation. I see why the IRS is asking for it back immediately, but I don't think that's fair. I think that maybe the best solution to this would be to allow them a certain amount of time to give that money back. I mean, us as small businesses, whether it's on the PPP or the EIDL, we have a very, very low interest loans that we can pay back over a certain period of time, or maybe take it back over when they file their taxes, or if they file their taxes, or force them to file taxes and then pay that money back into it. So I'm very curious to see what all of you think is, should these people have to be paid it back immediately? Should they have a time frame to pay it back? And what do you think would be the correct way to handle that? Make sure you leave comments below about how you think this should be handled. I'm really interested to see what you all think is the best way to handle this situation with folks getting the over-stimulus payment, whether they should pay it back immediately or whether they should have time to pay it back, or maybe they don't have to pay it back at all. Make sure you put it in there. I'd love to engage with you all and see kind of what the opinions are overall. Also, if you found this video interesting, you found it useful or helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, we here at California, our main focus is health insurance. So whether it's private health insurance or Covered California or Medi-Cal or Medicare or health insurance for a small business, we know health insurance. And our services are 100% free for all folks who live here in California. So if you're in a a situation where maybe you lost your health insurance through your work and you're looking to get new health insurance, or you're turning 65, or you need to establish health insurance for your small group, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you through that whole process. So other than that, I'm Michael, and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy day.